Welcome to Jamaica Dancehall Source, news and entertainment with a buzz. There's a saying that goes like this: whenever you see a neighbor's house on fire, make sure say you wet yours. A next saying: a wise man learns from his mistakes. A wiser man learns from the mistakes of others. A couple of weeks ago, we saw that the workers at a very popular, at least 5-star hotel known as Royalton in Negril, they were protesting for just about everything. Low wages, extra work, work condition, food, everything from A to Z. We saw that the workers also in Trelawney, they started to do the same thing. The management came out, the government relevant authority, tourism board, tourism enhancement sector came out and they say, listen, we made a slight mistake. We're going to do everything to resolve this situation, make it better, make everybody happy, share the proceeds of the profiteering. However, people, it seems as if the other hoteliers did not learn from the mistakes of Royalton. Because they were doing the same thing, they continued the same slave tradition that has been going on these all-inclusive plantation for a couple of decades. Such is the case as it pertains to Whispers, Breathless. Both of these are adjoining. Don't know if the same person own all of them. But the employees at Whispers came out and they started to protest and say, listen, we now go back to work until the conditions improve drastically. The neighbors next door did the same thing, I guess. Bad news spread like wildfire. Here are a couple of videos of persons protesting. Even the guests took some sorts of part and said them kind of understand the situation, even though we are inconvenienced. Take a listen, take a look, and then I'll give my piece.
108%, somebody privately paid an account, 3% more than our commission. And that's very unfair because I'm not paying accounts to do it. And we don't get a printout. So no transparency. No printout.
So contract work, transparency in payment.
Overwork, we need understand.
So yes, in fact. Do you have a staff association?
No!
So who are the leaders in this?
Everybody stand for themselves. If you stand up a breakfast, you look good enough. Stand up and get a secret.
Now, people, here's the thing. And this is why I always said the relevant authority, the management of Jamaica, meaning the politicians, it seems as if they have no sorts of balls, no sorts of guts, no sorts of intestinal fortitude. It seems as if them come like them own some sorts of backroad haberdashery. They are like some sorts of whores in the boardroom, in these meetings whenever they are supposed to do any sorts of contract. Pretty much they are bent over, sidewine, all sorts of mama and papa missionary. It seems as if these people just have them and banging them all sorts of threesome gang TATICS of the jokery. They have no sorts of say-so. They have no sorts of talk in the negotiating room because they are so easily to sell out Jamaica and get the bribery money, the money under the table, that they don't even read the contract or make sure that they structure some sorts of contract, that these people cannot just come in at Jamaica and violate the people, meaning the work, meaning the protocols as it pertains to a decent wage, decent working condition, just the basic that anybody would expect, especially in a 2024. Like I said, these people are being paid less than what the minimum wage in the United States was in about 84 or so. 40 years later or so, the same sorts of are even worse, especially with inflation, especially with the dollar being SHIT. So pretty much 40 years later, 100 times worse, that is what these people are getting. And it is not to say that these hotel owners are not making money. However, they are cheap, they are greedy. They look at Jamaican workers as some sorts of slave. And because they are facilitated by these pieces of ish, such as Mr. Bartlett and such as the other person that are involved. People like me say, if these people don't stand up for anything, they are going to fall for everything. And the people them seems as if they are getting wiser only a couple of decades later. Point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news, it is called surprise, surprise, surprise. And I am only being sarcastic because it was inevitable. Based on information that is coming through Department of Correctional Services, some sorts of illness has broken out into at least 4 facilities of the penal type. Talking about Tower Street, Horizon, Tamarind Farm, and St. Catherine Adult Prison Society, whatever them call it. Based on information, it is said that at St. Catherine facility, at least 1,000 inmates are sick. Likewise, at the others, maybe not 1,000, but a lot of persons. It is like a pandemic, epidemic. Based on the information, it is said that the inmates there are vomiting. Them have all sorts of flu-like syndrome. Them have all sorts of gastrointestinal syndromes. So therefore, them sick, at least 7 persons pass out on Monday, and on Tuesday, 1 person who tried to alert the wardens, he was ignored. He was rushed to the hospital when it was too late. Obviously, too late was the call. I am going to let you hear from one of those professional journalists from TVJ explaining everything in intricate details, and then I'll give my piece.
The Department of Correctional Services confirmed with Radio Jamaica News that there has been an increase in the number of inmates experiencing flu-like symptoms, primarily at the St. Catherine Adult Correctional Center. It says interim measures were immediately taken to isolate affected inmates, restrict movement, and to mandate the wearing of masks. A medical team is conducting tests to inform a diagnosis. It's understood that prisoners have also been suffering from gastrointestinal symptoms. A Radio Jamaica News source says roughly 7 inmates at the St. Catherine Adult Prison collapsed on Monday after exhibiting flu-like symptoms, vomiting, frothing at the mouth, and diarrhea. The source says the majority of the nearly 1,000 prison population had been infected by the mystery illness. Additionally, a source says the inmate who died on Tuesday attempted to alert prison wardens after feeling unwell in the early hours, but received no attention. It's understood that sometime after 6 Tuesday morning, the authorities found the inmate in an unconscious state and rushed him to hospital, where he was pronounced dead. But the DCS says the cause of the death is subject to a post-mortem. Therefore, no connection can be made at this time with the increase in inmates displaying flu-like symptoms. The DCS says it continues to be guided by all appropriate medical protocols to safeguard and manage the care of staff and inmates at its facilities.
So people, you heard what the professional that is unlike me had to say. Speaking of the situation, at least 4 facilities. St. Catherine facility, at least 1,000 people sick. Them are separate the people that are sick. They are telling people them have to start wear masks. They are trying to do everything, watching the situation. But people, this was only inevitable. Just look at the place in Jamaica, in the regular street. How dirty, infested, contaminated the place is. We've all seen the videos circulating on social media with the bathroom facility. We've all heard about the food, or maybe you have experienced it, going there and experiencing their culinary delights. Fortunately for me, that is not the case. We should not be surprised because we see all sorts of chink, all sorts of bug, all sorts of rat, leptospirosis, amongst other things. It was only going to be a matter of time, and people, it seems as if the time has come. I am sure that if you talk to most persons, especially persons who have been victim of these criminal elements, whether through robbery, whether losing a loved one, or whether being pie up by any of these inmates, they are going to say that is exactly what they deserve. Here are also some facts. Not everybody that is locked up or accused is guilty. So therefore, should we take one broad brush and paint everybody? That is not logical thinking, and I understand how most Jamaicans are going to feel about these criminal elements, that even if them DEAD, it does not matter the circumstance, it is going to be happy riddance. But what this speaks is volume of the incompetence and negligence and lack of humanity that exists in a Jamaica. Because the truth and the fact is that even though some of these people deserve everything that is the worst, it is the Jamaican government, the relevant authority, that have been neglecting these places, neglecting Jamaica on a whole. So when we see stuff like this, we should not be surprised, because the writing has always been on the wall. It's just that our people, they are reactive instead of proactive. And the facts are these. Even criminals are supposed to be in a humane condition. We know that that is a polar opposite when it comes to Jamaica. But personally, I'm going to say this is karma. If we're not there street a act up and we can't get when we're up on the street, karma is going to come and haunt you. So the question is this karma? Is this incompetence? People like them say, he who fails to prepare, prepares to fail. And this is an epic failure. If this was America, any other first world country, that one inmate that lost his life, he would be he would not be a millionaire, but his family would be a millionaire. There would be all sorts of lawsuits. It speaks volume of the negligence and worklessness as it pertains to Jamaica as a country, and also trickle down to the Department of Correctional Services, point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news, there's a saying that goes something like this: for every action, there's an equal. Well, not always equal or not even justified reaction. Whenever you mess with people, whatever you get, sometimes you deserve it, depending on who you ask. I am speaking about an incident, a takeaway that took place in a place called Antigua, in which a very powerful, controversial politician, Assad Michaels, was taken out in a very serious way. Based on the information, it is said that this man dibbles and dabbles in mostly fishy activity, shibada-ish activity. He also dibbles and dabbles in all sorts of criminal activity, including the smuggling. In all of his activity, it is said that he crossed the people. He does not know how to play fair. Like the Scarface movie said, he was a pig that did not fly straight, and he came back and it haunted him. Based on the latest incident in which this man lost his life, everything stories coming to bump based on information that I am getting. The two individuals, I told you that there was one individual that was trying to flee from the airport headed to Jamaica. Cannot confirm he is said to be Jamaican. Some people say him not Jamaican. The next person that actually confessed to the takeaway, he is not Jamaican. Based on the information that I am getting from credible source people on the inside of the investigation, it is said that he paid both these men to have all sorts of fishy action while he watched, entertain himself, shoot the chicken, shoot the bishop, rete, lele, blue, blah, bling. However, when the action was done and the people might look for their money, put out them long sticky hands, there was no sorts of money to compensate them for their action. He told them, they don't know, say, me like what I wanna do. So therefore, tomorrow, I'm going to make sure I put some brat upon it, brat being the operative word. The men came back the next day. It seems as if promise is a comfort to some fishy fools. there was no sorts of money. Like me say, this man did not have a straight bone in his body. He has crossed everybody that he does business with, be it sex or even illegal. However, the people were not having it. When you realize that the men being the operative word, were visibly upset, he started to threaten them and said he going to expose them, he have the tape ready. He is going to call the popo, like I tell you. He has the habit of crossing people and then call the popo and get them crossed out, meaning Killed. He did the same thing, but one of these two men, they were not having it. One of them decides them are going to carve him up real nice like Chucky and Leatherface. Leave him DEAD in a pool of his own red. Such is the case. So anyways, people, like I said, that is the latest as it pertains to that. Point blank and period. So anyways, people, thanks once again for checking out my video. If you appreciate videos like these, please show your appreciation by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. That is how YouTube promotes videos like these to like-minded, sensible persons like yourself. And last but not least, please subscribe to my next two channels. They are called Jamaica Dancehall Source and Crime Time News JA. I will be pinning the link to those channels in the description of this video. Bless up.